Anybody got any ideas what they want to talk about?
Oh shit, we didn't really actually do it outline today.
No,
Yeah.
I'm mad
Fuck
sick,
it.
so
Fuck you. I was sick this whole week
What's wrong
too.
with you?
got a flu, man, last week
Oh.
from my kids. Fuck them.
We took our kid to one of those play places,
Oh god,
and then we took him what Sunday. Monday he was throwing up.
norovirus,
Huh?
norovirus,
I don't know what
stomach flu,
norovirus is. I thought it was stomach
like a
flu.
bad stomach flu. Yeah,
All right, so he was throwing up on Monday. He was, super cuddly. He can't really express himself, so he's just kind of like cuddly.
yeah,
Gave him some Tylenol, and he was like knocking out all the time. Tuesday, he was getting a little better. By Wednesday, he was fine.
yeah,
Wednesday night, I get the friggin' shivers. I yak Wednesday night.
yeah, yeah.
I
That's
was
that's it's the virus, it's norovirus.
okay.
Yeah,
So then Wednesday night, I'm yakking and I'm like playing. I just got a knockout. My wife's like, "Damn, you didn't even help with put the kids to bed." I'm like, "Look, I'm done right now." I'm like, "You got this," and she's like, "Fine." And she's like, in her mind, she's thinking she knows a pussy, right? She's like, "This
yeah,
guy in his man cold. This guy's just like." I'm like, "Look, man, I'm knocking out." And then Tuesday, Thursday morning, I'm only now I only got the aches, but she's
yeah,
yakking.
yeah. It's highly contagious, man.
and
It's
so
crazy.
and so now I'm like, all right, now I guess I got to take the day off work because I'm still kind of
Yeah,
bedridden. And we sent our kid to school. I don't know if this was, but he wasn't yakking,
yeah,
so I'm like, whatever. He
yeah.
ate breakfast. He can go to school. He yaks halfway through midday. He gets sent
Horrible, man.
home,
Yeah,
right? And he was kind of like, sad, kind of embarrassed that he yacked at school, I guess. I'm like, it's
yeah.
okay, don't worry about it. And then
I bought the
Friday,
I bought the iPad Air, by the way. I'm waiting for it to come in back order. But
well, that was a great segue.
Like, thanks,
Um,
generally listening to this man's story, his plight. This
yeah,
man's worried about his
talk
iPod.
about what pussies you are.
Fucking lawyers,
Fucking
eh?
lying.
Clients probably sitting in front of him talking about their cases
I'm
because
just trying
fucking
to let
shopping for
this.
Jordans. He's like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna rinse these guys. I can buy something new.
Oh
Gunjers.
man, I'm going shopping.
You know, it's jokes. This guy probably gets a client come in and he opens up Amazon in the background. He's like, I needed this. And he's
No,
like,
he's
this
probably
meeting alone's
no.
going to pay for this.
Nah, man. He's on a shopping site. You know when you can filter the price ranges. So
Yeah.
literally, as he's talking to, he's like, oh, I'm gonna up this range
Standard.
here
He
because
changes the.
Standard. Keep talking. I love talkers. There's some clients that think you're a therapist and they don't know what I'm charging by the hour.
Do you charge more than a therapist? Yeah, probably do.
I don't know what's like a therapist hourly.
250.
250.
250.
Yeah.
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 You're like,
Yeah.
yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Fucking guys. And they don't even do shit. Honestly, lawyers are just glorified form fillers. They know exactly which
No,
forms to fill.
no, I don't fill out forms.
That's they've been
Yeah,
granted
he
the
doesn't fill out forms. It autofills on his.
they're
He
granted
just
the
clicks.
privilege of knowing what to fill those forms in, or like how a form should be structured. But really, that's all
No,
lawyers are.
I know.
Yes,
I knowing how to frame an argument,
I've argued with you for how many months now? You clearly aren't a good lawyer. Then
dude. You got smoked on the last pod.
what was the last pod?
What was the last
Every
part
Monday,
about?
every Monday, you get roasted for what you say.
Yeah, by another lawyer.
Yeah, because they equally think you're stupid.
Yeah, because the rest of the world thinks lawyers are stupid. Nah, screw you. I
They really
know.
hate us. There's a lot of hate, but I feel like we're turning a corner, and now people just hate chiropractors.
Why chiropractors?
Look, like if I recommend a chiropractor, anybody's like, "Oh fuck that!" Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go to a
I,
chiropractor.
I don't like my sister anyway, so yeah. Fuck Carlos.
That is true. I remember there's one guy at work, and he's telling me about. I told him I have a chiro appointment, and he just started shitting him. He's like, "Yo, don't go to those quacks. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
Crack your back, send you home." I'm like, "Yo, man, my guys are pretty good. I'm like, they don't even really crack my back. They do a whole bunch of other shit that just makes me feel good." And
at the end they crack
then,
your back.
yeah, and then after I realized that sounded a little sus, I was like, "No, no, they do all these other sort of treatments." And then
You
he's
know,
like, "No way." And
the problem is everyone's an expert now, right? That's the problem. Whatever job you do, a person thinks so they can go on Google and do it better. I'm sure we're shitting on lawyers, but I don't want to do that. I'm sure the information's out there. I'm sure you can learn how to do some of it.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
100%.
I know he couldn't do my job, but I'm sure I could probably figure his out.
I'm
But
sure an app will replace you pretty soon.
no, no, I
But
said you, not an app. And Apple replaced you too.
An app won't replace me yet.
Why?
Are you pretty soon with a high megapixel camera? Easy.
You know
Well,
who
whatever.
an app isn't replacing? The guy writing the app.
And the guy making the app.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's last. Until it writes
Anyways.
when the app writes itself, that's when we know the fucking Terminator's coming.
No, I think about all these IT guys. They're all working on these projects to
replace themselves.
eventually eventually they're going to be like redundant, aren't they? Like you're not going to be needed.
There's some like backwards thing. So one, our biggest threat to like a developer locally is a foreign developer, obviously, who works half the price and similar skill. Although a lot of the foreign trained talent is getting wise enough to know that if they're able to do this guy's work, to just ask for this guy's wages, because he can probably get them, right? Because you realize he has the skill. But no, programmers are writing AI code that writes code. It's kind of weird. It auto suggests.
That's the idea, isn't it?
And it's all supposed to be like, and it's all aimed at how to write code faster because it'll start auto suggesting stuff for you. But I'm like, bro, at the pace you're auto suggesting what to write, you're kind of just doing my job for me. And a lot of new coders suck because of it.
Yeah, it's like when you're writing out something in Microsoft
like
Word,
or something.
Just a word.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, it's so
no,
good.
But not even that. It writes the paragraph. It writes the paragraphs. It's like, oh, you started with these 6 words here. Here's a no. But what it does is it goes like GitHub is owned by Microsoft. It's where a million lines of code, billions of lines of code are submitted for storage. It analyzes all those lines, sees what you're typing, does a quick check, says, hey, this looks similar here. This is what you might want. And
wow.
And people are saying it's pretty accurate. I haven't used it myself, but some people are like, yo, it's kind of freaky good.
And take you out.
It will eventually take us out, but till then,
Skynet, and
we'll get rid of the optometrists and these form pushers.
Hey man, there's always gonna be a job for me. I'll figure something out.
What form do lawyers fill out? You're talking about immigration lawyers. They fill out forms. And
real estate.
You've never filled out a form?
And when I did immigration, I did, yeah.
They're just templates.
Anything, any form. Just you haven't used a form?
They're all templates.
I can't remember the last time I used a form.
So much of it's just templated. The first thing that any lawyer that's leaving a firm asks me is like, yo, how do I save all these templates?
No, precedents.
And you call them a new word. It's the same thing. It's a template. The Microsoft Word template, it's a precedent. In Microsoft Word, it's called a template. That's what you asked me to back up.
Precedent would be like, yo.
Okay, hold on.
I remember reading something in someone's argument and they framed it so well.
Are we casting right now? Because I gotta watch. Are we casting? Christian has a smile on his face.
All I'm saying.
Yeah, we're casting.
Yeah, I don't believe this guy. Don't talk about too much.
I said we're recording. All I'm saying, look.
I don't want to talk about my career. Cut it.
What about your career? We didn't even talk about your career.
What about your career?
You just said my career is obsolete.
No. That's not going to change.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Yeah. That's fair game.
Okay, so
fuck yourself.
What file format are these precedents saved in?
PDF, really? Word.
They're DOT files. They're Word documents, man. I'm just saying they're Word templates. You're pretending like these guys aren't saving their Word templates.
They're not templates. Templates is like a prefabbed fucking document that you keep on repeating the same thing over and over again. That's a template.
We all work on templates. The entire world does.
So you're not copy and pasting your shit over and over again? Your precedents don't get copy pasted?
Like the document? Or like the paragraphs?
Let me speak really slowly so that you can understand what I am saying to you. All right, fine.
No, that's definitely not going in the cast.
Just talking? Well, what's the show about? It's about nothing.
Just want these guys to know you got another thing coming, bitch. I'm still around.
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
We're not. Are we really doing it like that?
Robbie, you're doing. Yeah, Robbie, you do it this week.
No, I can't do it. You guys, I'm sick, man. You guys do it.
Oh my god!
I'm just gonna say I'm Raj. That's it. And you guys don't like it.
Dr. Raj. I look at eyes for a living. I'm a doctor.
Dr. Robbie. All right, and then we got to my right, Shinde.
Oh
Shinde,
shit!
what
I'm
up?
actually to your right because you're to my left, so that's actually cool. What's up? I am Shinda Singh. I play video.
He's amazed by small, simple
He
things.
just said I'm Shinda Singh and I play video games. That sounds like a bad dating video site. I am Shinda Singh. I play video games.
I
I like
don't
to
even
go on long
know.
walks
I go on long. I do like long
on the beach.
walks. Yeah, I went on a
On the
bike
beach.
ride last week. That was like a perk.
That's all right. It's
What?
better than it could have been skateboarding, but thank God you didn't do that.
Unfortunately, I couldn't buy a skateboard.
And
Longboard? He was saying longboard or something.
I was really
longboard,
close
yeah,
to buying a
whatever the fuck,
longboard.
same shit, man.
I
And
was really
yo,
close to
Sure.
buying a longboard.
you guys got me here, your boy, the Vakil. Anything I say is legal advice that you should not follow.
A
'cause
vehicle? Sorry, what are you? A vehicle?
Vakil,
Oh,
lawyer, just liar,
oh, a lawyer.
Lion.
I
lawyer,
thought
just
you were a
liar.
vehicle. I'm a vehicle.
I love
That's what I
it.
heard.
It's the best thing.
I was at
Every uncle thinks it's a clever joke. To lawyer, just liar.
I was at a wedding, and the guys, both the groom and bride were lawyers, and the BB was doing like a little poem on stage, and she kept saying lawyer as lion, and everyone kept chuckling. I don't think she understood why everyone was chuckling, but she kept pronouncing it lion.
It's so
Ah,
shit.
Highlight. Anyways, boys, how's your week
I
been?
sh- you know what? Like we're inching towards like summer weather. It's pretty good, man. Everything's on the up and up.
Minus the little bit of snow we got here and there.
Yeah.
That's right. Pump fake.
Does it
Live for the pump fake.
does it piss you
Pump
off when
fake?
you wake up with snow?
We got snow in May last year, bro. That was the best pump fake.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, we live in Canada. Are you surprised?
Yeah, I watched this show, Selling Sunset.
Yeah, I heard of
You
it.
watch that shit?
This hot chick selling houses. And
Are they hot? Are they really hot?
like three of them are.
Come on.
There's
She's into silicone.
There's three rockets, okay? Anyways, you asked my wife, maybe four, but three for sure. There's a big debate. Anyways, where was it going? They sell houses. We talk about it. Oh fuck! I lost my train of thought. Thank you, Robbie.
This guy must be
You got-
doing wonders in court.
I know, eh?
It was so
Your
bad.
Honor, I lost my train of thought.
What did you
Recess?
just say?
Recess?
What did you say
Recess?
that prompted this thought? Holy shit!
It was about the weather, bro. We're talking about
yeah,
winter and
yeah.
pump fakes.
Dude,
Oh my
I see
god.
those
Oh my
houses.
god.
I see those houses, and I think,
And I'm
wouldn't
the
it
one
be
who's going to
sick-
be obsolete?
Wouldn't it be sick to live in a house or live in an area where we could have inside, outside living? We can't do that. In the summer, I have my screen door open as much as possible. I go into like this little patio thing I have. But still, it's so good. Something I really miss out on.
I feel like
The inside outside?
The inside, outside living, yeah. Like they can
My
just
buddy
open up.
Yeah, my buddy in Texas has it at the back side
Yeah.
of his house.
Yeah.
His
Yeah, like-
windows that he just opens up. I'm
you
in
have the
Texas
outdoor
next week, but
kitchen and stuff. We're in Texas.
Dallas.
Okay. I was looking at houses in Houston. Just Odan. Some guy was like, yo, check out some of this. And then he listed a bunch of neighborhoods. It's still pretty cheap there. Even
What
Dallas.
is
When
it?
I've been
What is it?
when I've
Is
been
it
told-
materials cost less than Texas? Like, why is there such a fucking difference?
It's like
Labor.
Alberta, man. There's just, it's open though. They have so much land. The value of land is a lot cheaper there too.
So there's
I
like
mean,
just a
remember,
giant
the value of
sprawl?
a house in here is not inherently tied to the cost of material.
Yeah, it's
Right?
not.
We were told that it is, but it's not really.
We're landlocked here a little bit too because of the
Yeah.
Oh,
green belt and stuff. Everyone want to be on one side of it. Texas is
But
just
the-
open land.
Open. It's open. It's crazy. But the in terms of climate, I've been told that Houston's too humid. So Texas is more. Dallas is more of a dry heat. So
I've been
I
to
would-
Austin. And Austin was
Yeah,
nice,
Austin's nice.
Austin's sick, yeah.
Yeah.
but Houston was
I
cheap.
partied in Austin. How about you, Shinde?
I went on a couples.
Yeah, I
with
heard they have
babies
good
trip.
barbecue meat there.
No, they had a lot of vegan stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, they
God.
do.
Austin
Oh,
was
man.
big on vegan, and
Texas
I don't
pig-
like vegan either, so it's kind of weird. I hate vegan.
That's true. I'm actually going to the Dallas game, so kind of happy for that.
Which
Wanna see
Dallas
Luka?
game? Oh,
We
Mavs.
just, yeah, Mavs. Yeah, we got tickets, so something to do, something to look forward to.
Like,
Is
another
it,
vacation, man. That's good. And you work really hard.
I do work hard. That's why I go on vacation.
Yes.
If you got more clients, maybe you could do it too. But it's unfortunate.
This
They
guy's
read-
gonna.
you can't remember 3 sentences, so they read through that bullshit.
This guy's gonna
I
put.
need templates.
This guy's gonna book
Oh,
a
God.
trip to to Greece like next week just to like stick
Yeah,
it
just
to
to
us.
flex. Just
And
to flex.
he's like,
Yeah.
hey guys, can't make the podcast, going to Greece. Fuck you guys.
Yeah. I'll
But
get.
yeah,
I'll
Texas
listen to
does seem like
Stavros.
another cool thing about Texas is no income tax.
Say it
There's
again?
a lot of states that have that. Like Vegas or Nevada, I think is like a no income tax state. No income
No income state.
tax state. Jeez, that was a mouthful.
No, but the dude, their property tax is insane. That's how they get it back.
Texas,
Mhm.
Texas has insane.
Yeah, well, in Dallas at least.
Oh, I
Like,
heard
it's crazy.
Florida
It
was like that.
20 grand.
It
Also
all
heard
balances out, eh?
I heard Florida, or not Florida, but America, they have like all the different taxes, like your county tax, your city tax. Like they have like this layered tax which can override each other. So they don't all share like a divided list of things that they could tax. So if you're calculating sales tax, you actually have to calculate it from the state to the county to the like you have to calculate it all the way through. So writing taxation like software always sucks.
Taxation software. Come on, man. Come on. This is gonna put anyone to sleep. What the
Just
fuck?
I'm
riveting
just saying-
conversation
Oh my
here
God.
on our podcast, much ado about nothing.
I'm
Where we
just saying,
talk
it's one of the
extensively
most-
about algorithms, programming software, and language, directed by my
E-commerce
man,
sites,
the
one of
gamer. I play video games. Shit, listen.
One of the worst parts of e-commerce sites is figuring out all the different levels of taxes that you got to deal with when charging someone something.
This man's still talking about programming.
He's
I'm just
doubling
putting it
down.
out there. I'm just putting it out there. The taxes in America are crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's. I mean, they need money from somewhere. Let's be honest. You got to be taxed, right? It's not like it's
Thank you to
when someone gets
God.
no taxes. That's not true, right?
I mean, one of our governments is going to promise us no tax, and I'll fall for them.
well, talking about taxes, I mean, the Dugglers come out with some promises this week, right? Did you guys read in the budget? Did you guys read up on the budget this week?
I was just
Cutting
sick.
income taxes on families that make less than 50K.
I think it's individuals.
Individuals? Yeah, that makes more
I
sense.
think it was individuals. Does it? You get a
Yeah.
20% tax cut if you make less than 50?
I'm not even mad at that.
Yeah, I'm okay with
No,
that.
I'm not mad at it. I'm just asking. Like, I mean, half these guys with corporations are reporting less than that. So, am I the only one thinking it?
I didn't even realize that. Really? Fuck.
I'm just.
Oh, really? People
I
do
mean,
that? I didn't know that.
I don't know. Oh, it's
Shame,
perfectly legal.
shame, shame.
But it benefits people too, though. Benefits like the lowest earners, like the actual wage.
No. I'm
Minimum
not mad
wage.
at that. I'm just saying, like, where are they going to get the money from? He's
Ah.
promised a lot. Which honestly, I'm voting for him. So, like, I know everybody thinks I'm anti-Dougler. I'm actually all right with everything he's saying. I'm just curious.
I'm okay with that.
I've been putting
It's
out
getting something's getting
I've been
cut.
putting out
Something's getting
bloopers,
cut.
by the way. So I've been telling
Say it
people
again?
you hate. I've been telling everybody you hate him.
Hate the Dougler?
Hate
It's
the
that shovel, man. It's a
The
touchy
yellow
point for me.
emergency shovel. Everyone needs to own
Was
one
it
of
a
those
pink?
shovels.
It was pink. It was pink, wasn't it?
I thought it was yellow.
That was a pink shovel.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, again, everything he's coming out with is pretty dope. And if I'm forced to criticize him, which I will because fucking Shinda jerks him off all the time, I'm going to say it was just too much, too late. Like, come on, just do it.
But
earlier.
that's politics,
I
right?
know it
Like,
is
I mean,
politics. But still, man, just if he's
but I'm not. Yeah, I'm
he's
not
the guy
mad
who
at
breaks
any of
the
the.
mold. He breaks the mold anyways. He's been doing that, so just do shit earlier
He's
too.
breaking a lot of molds and clothes, but I mean, I'm not mad at his
I like
what
how you
they're
guys
doing.
went to fat shaming this guy. All you guys are
What did I fat shame? I didn't fat shame. What did I fat? How did I fat shame?
said he's
That's
breaking
what you
molds.
thought. You implied it. I thought you loved
You
it. This
took it there.
guy's so sensy on
Took it
Dougler,
there.
man.
Wow, holy
know,
shit.
wow.
Ari, he's jacked. He's so fit.
Yeah, he's
so cold.
peak of human health.
Well, I'm,
Dougler
I'm
is.
just trying to read something that you guys posted here about the tax credits. So
Well,
320 million a year.
That's supposedly.
That's not. Is that? I don't think that's a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, with the government 320, like the
Yeah.
320. Okay.
That
So they
seems
said
low.
700,000 people. Now you guys are saying obviously corporations and corporate people will be the ones taking advantage of it. But how much advantage of it?
Some people.
Like, so all things considered, how much is it actually going to help them? They're just going to cap their claimed income at 50. Like,
They're gonna. Yeah.
there's more incentive to do so.
Yep.
I'm
like,
sure
they're
there's
gonna-
some
they're gonna-
savvy,
yeah,
there's
there's
some
a-
savvy Brampton accountants out there that might want to chime in and help us, but maybe
I'm
not.
just- I guess where I'm going with it is I don't think the cap or whatever they're making back on savings is going to affect their overall net worth, considering what they're already doing. That it's not helping the people who really need the break to
Yeah,
not
fair
do
enough. I think it's a good idea. I don't have anything against it. I mean, I do like the tax credit for the seniors, so they could pay for medical expenses. I think that was a good move.
it. So it's
push
seniors
more
over
towards.
70, medical expenses, all that stuff's a tax break or a tax credit.
Yeah, man, because I've had where seniors come in and they're in tears because they can't afford to buy glasses, and it's heartbreaking. It's something as simple as like a couple $100, and they don't have the budget because obviously at that time money's tight and they're on a fixed income, if you will, and it is heartbreaking. So anything that helps seniors, why not, right? So
You know what else?
anything
Would,
medically to
you
yeah,
know
go
what else
ahead.
would help seniors if opticians didn't sell glasses at 400% markup to seniors.
Yeah, fortunately for you, I'm not an optician, so maybe go ask those individuals themselves.
Saying generally,
I'm just saying
the
generally.
industry.
I don't know why you got so
You know the
defensive,
I'm all for the affordable eye care market. So
right?
Yeah, poster boy.
as I
Poster
as I don't own a shop, so I don't adhere to rinsing
like-
people as
I feel
some
like-
lawyers do. A lawyer comes in, talk to a lawyer for 10 minutes, and you have $1,000 bill. Yet you're getting mad at me for selling a product that helps you see.
I
and
mean, I'm
aids to
sure
your
a,
lifestyle.
a drug dealer has a similar proposition.
Yeah, I know Well, yeah. Look, actually, no. Some stores now that I do have the ends of it it's outrageous, but yeah, there are really really fair stores or corporations doing it right. I mean, Loblaws is one, but at the same time, it's still not enough of a discount for some people, and some people are on such a fixed budget that they're watching like $20, right? So it's sad. It's sad to see seniors at that age worrying about money. It is.
Yeah, especially these days, like the dollar's going a lot further because
Yeah,
mungai
like
inflation.
they're worrying about grocery, man.
Yeah,
Seeing a senior worry about food,
That
sad.
sucks.
it's very sad. Yeah,
Even rent. Like when
Yeah.
they're like, "Yo, rent's going up. We're on a fixed income. Our kids kicked out." I don't know if that's still a thing. There was a time when was like a real situation. People were like, Punjabis are kicking out their parents from their house.
they were taking their houses, getting them to sign in their names, and kicking them out of the house.
yeah, but now everybody needs that pension income too, right? To fucking sustain their mortgages, so nobody's kicking out their parents.
And our society's so fucked.
Yo, man, that's just there's I've heard a lot of stories put it that way. And I think it's sad, that people do that to their parents or kicking someone out in their late 70s and early 80s and ask them to fend for themselves.
That's the other
and,
good thing, like that Douglas doing like that. That project on Peter Robertson is actually a fucking solid thing. We need more of it because
Mhm.
people are gonna kick out their parents who need care,
Dude,
and
the
that
need
aren't,
for
aren't
like
independent, right? So then that's where you need these care homes for Punjabi community people.
Where do you guys stand on
There's-
Punjabi care homes? I've had like
Well, there's a
debates
hu-
with people about this. I think
there's a
I think
huge
there's no
need,
debate.
man.
Yeah,
There's a huge need.
and I've
huge
seen
need.
people like go out. They're like, "Why would anyone need a home for their?" And I'm like, "Look, man, taking care of your old parents sometimes at some age just becomes very hard."
That's such an ignorant. Whoever says that is such an ignorant person because they haven't clearly dealt with someone ignorant. They haven't dealt with someone with dementia or a severe disease where you can't do in-house care. Those people need full-time care. They need full-time health care. And the sad thing is the system is not set up for our
Punjabi.
culture. They don't have Punjabis. They don't have the appropriate food. So yes, there's a huge need. And for someone to say, "Oh yeah, our community can take care of its own," sorry guys, we're piss poor at it. It's better we accept we're not good at it.
And
start
it breaks
planning,
up families.
you know?
It really
Chill
messes
the
up
fuck out.
families.
Chill the fuck out, guys.
Hey man, hey, yo, if you guys heard the stories,
I didn't think like there was that much of a debate. We aren't
Dude,
piss
it's-
poor. We aren't piss
we
poor
are-
at it.
we are poor when it comes to someone in their late stages of their life when they're impacted by a health condition, of understanding the plight, and helping families get help. We have a stigma that if you put a parent in a home, you gave up on them. There is a very big stigma in our community
There
about
is a stigma for real.
huge
Yeah.
stigma
Yeah.
in our community. Why? If that was no other option from a medical standpoint,
That's another story from a medical
no,
standpoint.
but in our
But when it
culture, we
from a
still
inconvenience standpoint,
that's different. I'm not
that's what
talking about.
I'm
I'm
talking
not
about the
talking about that.
inconvenience
But
standpoint.
most people can't afford $60,000-$70,000 a year to have full time in house care or a full nurse coming by, to have 24-hour care. Because most of these conditions or the help you need could be in the middle of the night. I have sympathy for families going through that. I'm not talking about a senior who is living his best life and no medical conditions and they ship him off. I'm not talking about that.
Even
But
like
there is going to be a huge problem, especially with our generation. It's our parents I'm speaking about that are going to be going through these ailments. And I think that stigma needs to go and we need to get smarter, right? We need to help the families that need help. And, we can't push the narrative that if you don't take care of your elders or they need help, that you gave up on them. I don't agree with that. I used to think the same way. That's all I'm saying. Until I saw,
still
no,
think that.
you have the stigma like why couldn't they take care of the person at home? Why did they put them in a home,
Yeah, it
right?
depends.
Or if
It
we all
depends. It's so
that's the way we
situational,
were
man.
raised. We were
Yeah.
raised that way. We were raised that way.
So, okay,
But
that's why. It's because we're raised that way.
we were raised that way. Yeah,
Yeah, which is why I think as a community that we're better off. We're better at this than other communities. Okay, because we have the stigma, that shame.
I guess what you're
Like there's
saying.
there's an added layer of motivation compared to other like
Yeah.
communities where it's like whatever. My dad's got some mild fucking
So yes. Okay. Okay.
Alzheimer's onset. I'm gonna fucking send him home right away because it's fucking annoying.
From that
Like
viewpoint, I
we're
agree. I agree with
yeah.
you from that viewpoint.
This
We're
is where
better
we're a
at
little
it
bit
in terms of
yeah.
care. I get
Yes.
that. Okay. Yeah. What I meant is the stigma of saying that we're not going to get this individual help because we're fearing of what people might say. That's where I think we need a lot of improvement. We don't use certain services. There are a lot of people that need these services. I just know because obviously my family's involved in the industry. It's sad. You just hear the stories that would break your heart, man. 75-year-old mother who's been kicked out on the streets and homeless, and the community's trying to find her food. It's like shit like that you hear, like, what's going on,
Do you think
So-
elder abuse
I
is
just
rampant?
drove by a retirement home today with my kid and he's like, "What's that?" I was like, "That's where people send their baby and babe when they don't love them."
Nice.
And then he's like, "Is that what was his response to you?"
He's like, "Baby, baba." That's it. But yeah, no,
He's
no,
like, "Well, that's where you're ending
no.
up, daddy."
I think
yeah,
elder
that's
abuse
where he's gonna
happens.
send me exactly.
Shinda, to your point, I do think elder abuse happens. It's much more rampant than
Oh
we,
yeah,
we might think. Especially financial. Remember, financial is still abuse.
Yeah.
That's still senior abuse. And it's sad. Like I did some eye exams once in a care home, and the guys I was working with were abusing the seniors, and I thought that's why I quit. I quit the first minute I saw that. But even their kids like didn't. There was this there's just sheer abuse, man. Like they don't have control of their funds, and it's a weird. It's a weird situation to be in. But yeah, I to Ranjit's point, I do think in terms of caring, having that emotional link, yes, we do have a better link with our seniors. So I do
because
agree with you there.
even though the stigmas are generally like unfair and bad things, like this negative thing is the impact of it has a positive effect where we as a community generally, and this is a generalization, will go further to care for our aging parents
Yes.
than other communities. Just
Or
out of
the-
this,
I think
out of the shame of not
Or-
doing
yeah, I think what I was trying to put in the same line as like things like mental health or domestic abuse in our community, or these kind of things where we don't like to shed light on it. We know that they happen, but we kind of just say, hey, that's
Yeah.
not everybody.
Like I feel like
That's what I was trying to imply. Like we're not good at as a community to say, hey, these things are real. Let's deal with them, right? So that's what I was trying to get
I
at.
tend to think kind of the opposite, that because there's a stigma, we, instead of approaching them and trying to like deal with them better, we talk about them less. We treat them as a taboo topic because we're like, no, we don't want to
Yeah,
talk about this
yeah.
because it's a shame. It's a shameful topic and we're not going to bring it up. I feel like that's where the community really ends up. overall with this kind of stuff.
Would you guys want to go in a home?
It really depends on how shitty my kids are, to be honest. I feel like a home might be a better situation.
Do you want to live with your kids? I don't want to live with my kids when I'm older.
It really depends on what my kids are like.
Dude, I went to this home once in Toronto. It had like a pub downstairs, a movie theater, a bar upstairs, games rooms. Like that retirement home? I'm down to do that. I'm okay with that.
I think it's better to just like go off into the sun before you have to get that to that point.
Randy's just walking off a cliff. He's like later.
Yo, talking about going off into the sunset. Did you hear about that lady who chose medical assisted suicide? This was recently in the news.
But that's like happening all the time now.
Yeah, I thought that was...
No, she did we touched on it last week?
No, I thought a law was passed about...
No, so supposedly she has some crazy allergic reaction to smoking. And she was in housing. I mean, obviously I'm just kind of skimming the story. But the housing was set up by Salvation Army in Ontario. And they couldn't find her an appropriate living space because of the housing crisis. And this bachari picked to choose medically assisted suicide.
So she didn't want to live because people smoke around her?
Well, she has a severe allergic reaction. She would end up in the hospital. So because no one could figure out, doctors were trying, and because the system is the way it is, she just thought it was better to go.
How old was she?
And they let it happen?
I have no idea.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's done. It happened. I'll read the article. Give me 1 second.
All I'm saying is I can't fault her. Say you get to a point where you're like, what's the point of living? I'm going to friggin' go live alone for another 8-9 years. Best. I don't really talk to anyone else in my family.
You need therapy.
No, but you're not getting her therapy because she's too old and can't afford it.
I mean, I don't know what her suffering is. So like, fuck, maybe she was suffering it. Really
I'm just saying at some situation, she's just like, there's nothing really left for me in this world.
There, it's in the notes.
That's crazy.
All right, let's just...
Is this in Canada?
It's Ontario, brother.
Ontario, holy shit.
I'm like, yo, is our housing getting that bad?
The people are choosing to die rather than... Women with chemical sensitivities chose medically assisted death after failed bid to get better housing. I feel like that was very... A 51-year-old, so she's not even that old. All right.
I think that's what the shocking point is, right? Like...
See, if she was in her 80s, even late 70s, mid 70s, I wouldn't have like thought too much. 51, she's only a little bit. She's like 2 grades ahead of us at this point. Really, like holy shit! Is your life going to shit that fast? Shit.
Yeah, that's really sad, man. It's sad.
Like Machadi,
770,000 people in Canada that have the same condition as her. What the fuck?
That's wild.
What's your guys' number in terms of like how long would you like to live?
As long as I'm functional. 75 seems
so if you passed away at let's say 70, would you be happy? Like life's full, you've had a good life.
I guess as long as I can have independence. The second I lose my independence.
That's a good one.
Like when I need someone to wipe my ass, I'll be like, all right.
I'm sure they're
enjoy that.
I mean, leave me in India somewhere.
Give me a bidet, right? But
one-way ticket, you know.
I know 51's mad young though.
How would you go? How would you go? If you had to pick, you're not. Let's theorize that. How would you go if you had to do what this Pachadi had to do?
I feel like it's all the same. I don't think you get to choose
a turn, a dark turn. Playing death is like, how am I gonna go?
If
Final destination.
Medically assisted is medically assisted. No, or you're like in a make-believe world where you get to pick the way.
Let's say you get to pick.
I think I would go by taking out someone bad.
No, you wouldn't.
So
I think why not?
You take out a lawyer, someone bad.
Yeah, maybe a bad lawyer.
That's the way you would go. So
was like a very Kardku mentality if you're gonna go.
So I would assume you would want to be shot then, right? Getting shot, that would be your way out.
Yeah. Go out in a blazing glory.
More pain. Interesting. You want the glory. That's what you want. You want that glory.
I do want the glory. Go home on a shield.
So you're not brave enough to do it now, but you knew if you had to die anyways, you're gonna go do it.
Yeah, sounds about
I
right.
feel like this is a very toxic. Robbie's
I
just
think
trying to coax us.
he's
He's
trying
trying to
to
like
like
push us
insult me.
into that.
He's trying to insult me, but I'm fucking cool.
No, not even insult. He's like, go ahead, do it right now. Pull the trigger.
I'm taking a Robbie.
Do it.
Shanda, how would you go?
I'm not. It doesn't even have to be heroic. Just like set me up and have me shot in the back or something.
What's
Oh,
with the shooting, man? You don't want to go injection or die in your sleep.
everything is a
And what-
vacation to you, eh? You fucking work a little bit, you go on vacation. You want suicide has to be a vacation.
I always had this
100%.
dark ass.
You know how'd I do it? If I had
go.
some like terminal illness, God forbid, like ALS or one of these horrible diseases, straight off a plane, man, skydive
No,
right into the ocean. Done.
I feel
No
like
pain.
there'd be too
I won't
much
remember
time
it.
for me to
What if-
think about the fall.
Yeah.
A shot in the back, don't see it coming, boom.
So you're scared to death.
No, wouldn't even say that because I
This is
thought
a
about.
fucking existential conversation we should not be having. Okay, this is somebody's gonna be working right now and fucking lurking to the right to the screen. What the fuck are these guys talking about?
On a completely separate
What happens when you're
thing.
On a separate note, who's gonna take out Elon Musk?
What?
Well, Elon, if you're reading this or hearing this, because Elon listens to this, that was our lawyer friend here. He's dangerous, eh? $43 billion, put it up.
44.
Why is he
yo.
dangerous?
Because he's
I don't know.
tackling free
Why is he
speech. I never.
He's
So let me get this right. He is taking Twitter private, correct?
He's buying Twitter, and
No, I think he's taking it private.
he said he wants to. He hasn't.
Oh.
He doesn't own it yet to do anything that he wants to do with it. But he said his plan is to take Twitter private when he buys it, which looks like he will be buying it. Apparently, though, if
he can
he's
finance it.
yeah, which is another thing. Someone's like, they don't think he actually has the money, even with everything leveraged and all that. But I don't know. I don't understand the fear of Elon Musk taking over Twitter.
I kind of do.
But when did Twitter become the epitome of freedom? This is my why is everybody so worried? If Twitter goes, they'll find someone will come up with something else.
It's
It's
so easy
just,
to write a Twitter clone.
Yeah, but it's just become like such a big world town hall that anybody exerting any sort of influence on it is kind of fucked.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. If someone just comes up with something similar, look, we all left Facebook, right? Facebook at one time was the big thing.
I
Some
was
people went to
never.
Twitter.
There's some longevity with Twitter. Like Twitter is a fucked up business in the sense like it doesn't make any fucking money, but it's being sustained because it serves a purpose in the fucking world. You had what since 08, 09? You're one of the early adopters, I remember.
I had Twitter as long as I've had
since
Facebook.
2010. I've had it since 2010. I stopped using fucking Facebook years ago, but this Twitter, I still fucking use it. It's amazing. But man, there is a risk because this guy has businesses. Okay.
hmm
He's got his, SpaceX. SpaceX is his, right? Yeah. SpaceX, and he's got Tesla, and who knows what else. So if he has Twitter and he has all these businesses and there's a conflicting interest, like, he's doing business in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's like, if you want to open up a plant here, you better make sure that Twitter's scrubbed about anything bad against us, or China or some shit. Like, that's where the conflict will arise, right?
But do you think he'll listen?
Yeah.
All right, so
Mm.
something. So one thing is like the current directors and the former owners and CEOs. They all have especially directors. They're not just directing Twitter, right? They're CEOs of various other companies and involved in all these other projects. They'd have same sort of push, and we've seen this from India, where India asks Twitter to mute or
Yeah.
really silence certain hashtags or tweets from, and to the point where in India certain tweets aren't even visible. And Saudi Arabia, same thing. Certain tweets won't be visible from their China. I'm guessing the same thing. Elon Musk, in my opinion, doesn't pose any more of a threat to censorship than any of the existing things that surround Twitter that we've kind of all ignored. And the weird thing is Elon Musk's main driving force for why he wants to take over Twitter is to make it more open and transparent and remove all other current censorship blocks that exist,
Yes, that's what he says.
right?
Yeah.
To the point where there was one thing he said that I really, really liked is he wants to make Twitter open to turn it more into a protocol than a platform. So
I don't know what that means.
There's
so
more
think of,
programming stuff coming.
well,
Stay tuned.
email is a protocol, right? Everyone can run email. You don't need to. No one can censor your email. Your email can definitely get blocked by someone if they mark it as spam, whatever. But email itself, it's a protocol. It's a means of transferring like messages to each other. Turning Twitter into a similar thing of, hey, akin to email, this is going to be a protocol that small short messages can be posted on a bulletin board public that everyone can access type thing. There's something great about it being a protocol in that at that point it does become censorship resistant. Then it becomes like client specific. Do I want to mute what I'm seeing versus what I'm not? Am I marking these tweets as spam or not?
So because Twitter is, we all agree Twitter is like a world encompassing thing that does influence the world and world leaders in politics. That's fair?
100%. Especially
Okay.
after Trump and the last elections and all
So
that.
yeah, so there's a value to it being, I
Controlled.
guess, public, first of all. And I'll tell
Okay.
you why, okay? As long as it's public, it owes a duty to its shareholders. The second is private, you know, and there's private ownership that diminishes greatly. And uh, when there's shareholders who are owned rights, fuck, let me just get to the point. As long as there's fucking shareholders, the company has to do right by them, okay? A second is private. It's a private company. Private guy owns it. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He doesn't have to care about anybody's opinion. So there's a check and balance there. I'll give you an example. There's a Polish coal company who was going to spend 260 million euros to build a fucking coal plant, and they were talking about how this is the last coal plant that's ever going to be in Poland. Well, some climate activist lawyers, they bought 20 euros worth of shares and sued the fucking company, and they shut down the coal plant because they said the directors of the company are opening up a product or a coal mine or coal facility that's gonna be obsolete in like 20 years. So it's a waste of money. And in that, they were able to say, yeah, our rights as shareholders are being trampled. Shut it down. So there's a check and balance there. Okay. The second is private. We have this fucking world-changing platform in the hands of someone who can greatly profit off of it because he has his own private enterprises that rely on external factors and governments. And who knows when his fucking mood will change. And we have very little to no fucking we won't have any insight, but we won't have a say either. And it's just too big of a thing to be owned by one person.
So one thing that I don't know how this is related, but for the most part, shareholders, when you're accountable to shareholders, really that just means you're accountable to keep the company profitable,
Yeah. And
right?
like not do anything negligent, bad, and fucked up. Yeah, pretty
But in
much.
Twitter's case, Twitter, from what I've read and always heard, is they're struggling to stay afloat money wise. Like they don't have that same sort of ad reach that Facebook has or that Google's ever had. Like there's no Twitter pixel for them to do targeted ads type thing. They're more or less just guessing what you're into based on who you're following, what you're liking, which honestly might be a big enough metric on its own. But as an advertising company, they've always struggled with just advertising in general. So as far as shareholders care, at this
Yeah, but
point,
it's not just about making money, like also doing something that might get the company sued. Like knowing you're doing something that might get the company sued, that could be enough to fucking, get shareholders' rights, in front of a judge. It's not just
interesting.
making money,
That's the
right?
one thing that I saw about Twitter, because like you mentioned, Twitter is this world changing thing, right? We saw it with like the Middle Eastern and the Egyptian like uprising and all every like protest everywhere, the Hong Kong protests. Everyone goes to Twitter to spread what's going on, and later on maybe you'll find like your Snapchat geo filters or whatever, your Instagram locations to get the actual content that way. But it's always kind of like they're pushing content first through Twitter, like news wise. But Twitter itself is an American company that's really only held by American laws. Is there,
Mm.
like for something that's so world powerful and world changing, is it weird that America controls it? Or that American courts kind of more or less have say as to what its freedoms and rights
Well,
are?
It's based in America.
Yeah, but they seem to also adhere to like other jurisdictions. I think I've heard that complaint about Twitter before too. About how they cave to Indian and Chinese laws as well, right? So I think if any government is like bigger than Twitter or they have a huge enough base, I guess Twitter will kind of bend to them.
Which, in my opinion, like that's where Twitter as a protocol makes so much. It's if Elon really wants to like make good on Twitter being this beacon of free speech, then the protocol thing is what resonates most with me. And I know people have tried making protocols similar to Twitter to do what Twitter does, but the network effect just hasn't been there for them.
Yeah, yeah, and everybody's already adopted Twitter, so fuck, like that's.
I
not
mean,
gonna
everyone
work.
has a Twitter app installed, and they're not looking for the next third-party app. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. It doesn't scare me near as much as it scares other people. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, it's not all like people who are fucking terminating their accounts and quitting and crying. That's just too much snowflake shit. But
It strikes
it's
me as
not.
the same sort of thing that people do when they said if Trump gets elected, I'm moving to Canada, and no one really comes because they're like, where am I going to go?
But there is like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. He's not the fucking hero on a white knight. Not at all. I don't think so.
I'm trying to make sense of your
Yeah, sorry, hero on a
hero
white
on,
horse.
hero on a white knight. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I was watching too much Brokeback Mountain effect.
Too much Bridgerton for you, bro.
What? Did they do that in Bridgerton?
No, I don't know. Bridgerton was on and they were riding horses. I thought, but yeah, no, I don't know. I don't see Elon as any more villainous as any other billionaire that I don't know.
But he's no white knight either. We
Yeah.
agree, right?
Yeah, just like I don't like people make Bill Gates out to be this white knight. I'm like, yeah, he's got financial investments that he cares enough about that it's probably not all the same.
Not everybody hates Bill Gates because he's the one who started COVID.
Corona. Yeah, the Bill Gates conspiracy theory and that whole like rabbit hole is its own dirty little thing. That's when you know someone's kind of in a weird world when you start a conversation and they go, "Brother, let me tell you about Bill Gates though." And I'm like, "Oh shit, here we go."
Oh God.
They did
Oh,
the
man.
research. They've done the research.
Someone going down a rabbit hole though. Our boy PP. He said he wants to make
Oh,
Canada-based
you've come
cryptocurrency.
around to the PP name. I like it.
It's
PP.
mostly because I'll never be able to pronounce his last name without butchering it.
Oliver.
Yeah, he's kind of what he mentioned that he wanted to do his own cryptocurrency based on like the backed
Does
by
it-
the
he-
Canadian.
No,
And
no,
then
he didn't. He's out for the central bank for some reason. Like he has this, I don't know, fixation on just to talk against them all the time.
Crazy because
So
I
now-
don't think he understands what the central bank does.
That's probably what it is. Poor PP. Yeah, so he's like now he doesn't want the digital currency potentially made by or Canadian digital currency, which to be controlled by the central bank. I don't know what he wants, man.
Okay, so he's against it. I thought he was so he's still pro Bitcoin.
I
I think so. I don't know.
he's-
Who cares?
I can
He
never
was a
tell.
champion of Bitcoin. He was a champion of Bitcoin for a bit.
Okay.
I don't know if he ever got off of that.
So he's
I
just
wonder how rich he got and if he
So he's-
paid his taxes.
so he's
Like
really
every
just.
other normal hardworking Canadian out there.
I mean, some things we'll never know, but so he's really just against the centralized digital cryptocurrency of the Canadian government.
Yeah. It doesn't say why, because
I don't blame him for that.
yeah, but he's running for leader. Like is that's what you want to talk about?
It's just an interesting thing that this guy's like really gone after the millennial vote.
He's
He
going
knows-
he's going after that blue collar hard worker, and you want to talk about a cryptocurrency.
No, but I think he's
in
going
this
after the
conversation.
millennials. I think he's going after millennials, like the younger. I've never voted conservative, but I don't like the fact that I can't afford a house. Who should I be angry at, and who's going to help me? I think he's really going for that audience.
Yeah, he's the reason they can't afford a house because he's buying them all.
Yeah, one thing we missed on that. It's not just his wife who like was.
It was him too. Yeah.
He's on like a real estate company board in Alberta. That's like buying up Calgary, right? Like fucking everybody wants to invest in Calgary now. But yeah, he's a mover and shaker.
9
there.
million, man. He's 9 million. He ain't poor.
Holy smokes! On a politician's salary? brother. If I
He's
knew
been a
that,
politician since he like hit puberty, bro. Come on.
I feel like
And
he's doing it right,
what's his
man.
pension? And his pension's gonna be fine too. So it doesn't even matter if he loses.
But
He's good.
I don't know, man. I feel like he's done it right. All right, I want to completely take us a little bit away from everything. I don't want to go down this whole PP, PP, yeah, fucking intro. Wedding
You don't
season
want to
is
go down
upon
the
us.
stream of PP, no?
Yeah, I don't want to go down this PP
No
stream,
more pee pee
Or
sparking.
the
Okay?
PP puddle?
the
No more
PP
PP
puddle.
puddle?
One thing I was thinking, wedding season is back upon us. Have you guys been?
Oh god. You want to talk about weddings?
I had a
What's wrong
question
with you?
about weddings. We're like well married people past
What does
our
that
weddings.
mean? What the fuck does that mean?
Like when you think back about weddings, do you ever go to a wedding and like just shake
Like,
your head at certain things? Like what the hell is all this extra stuff or what's this? What's that?
talk about this well-aged comment you made. What are we, like a whiskey or a fine wine? What is that? So well-aged married people. What does that even mean?
It's kind of insinuating that we're no longer in that like weddings are well beyond like our own weddings are probably old concepts to us. They're like memories, old memories,
Yes.
right? Now that
Okay.
and now when you go and you see like new young people getting married and they're going through their weddings and stuff and you visit them, is there stuff that kind of hits you like, oh, this is a new trend or what people are still doing this or like you ever talk to
I mean,
married
I
couples?
think that denominator is still there even in our time. What a colossal waste of money the wedding is, right? Like you look at it, you're like, man, you could have saved a lot of money. That hasn't changed. That
You think
just
that's
continues. It's gone up with inflation, right? So I don't
But
know,
I don't
man.
think I don't think they've done anything like crazy to like push the wedding thing ahead. It's still the same mold. Like
Yeah, like the vendors are making more money. That's about it. The
our
DJs
generation,
are making like, yeah,
because the way our parents were like that first generation, the '90s that did receptions here, it was different, right? You had the firecracker entrance, the sparkling thing, and then you had the
yeah.
balloons.
The
You
balloon
had the
streamer.
balloons at the top and underneath the net, and then at one point the balloons would come down, and the kids would just be playing on the dance floor. And drinking
That
and
was it.
driving was very,
dude, that
very.
sounds marvelous. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I really want to see a wedding with balloons.
They don't do that
Just
anymore. It's done, or no balloon arch.
Well,
Balloon
remember
arches are
before banquet halls, they used to do it in community centers, right? So
yes.
that's the original.
There was like Luddy's
Now people
Banquet
are
Hall,
now
International
there's
Banquet
hall
Hall.
shaming now. That's the best
Yeah,
part. There's hall shaming. Oh, you're getting married in that hall? Oh, okay.
is that a thing, really?
That's a thing, man.
I've but
Robbie Shane.
what's
That's why he knows.
Sorry, say it again.
Robbie
Robbie Shane.
shaming?
He knows. He does it.
All the
But
time.
you didn't hear me. Let me put the mic closer to my face.
Yeah, it's because you're a typical lawyer not speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Is there anything
But
that you look at and you're like that of all things? Why would you spend time or money thinking about this like detail of your wedding? It's
decor.
wow, that was
I agree.
quick.
Yeah.
That's. Do you remember what your decor was at your reception?
Zero.
Exactly.
I would have. I was actually going to go with the same thing, so I'm kind of sad that you stole my answer. Literally, it's like
I
the
think
one
I think
thing.
the cost of everything is just shocking. Like what the vendors are charging, I can't believe that. I just
Makeup. These makeup girls.
makeup,
I
yeah.
went out to dinner with a bunch of wedding vendors, and I was like, "Which one of you thinks is the best gig in the wedding industry?" And they all. It was like a DJ, a videographer, um, and a wedding planner, and they all said makeup. They all just said makeup girls. They make bang
It's
for
like
the
two
buck.
grand. It's like 2 grand or something like
Who?
that. Or
Come
maybe
on,
more. I
Robbie.
don't know.
Kidding you
It's
like
been a
I'm
while,
not.
man. It's
Yeah, it
been a
was
while
like
since I paid for it.
3,500 for a bride for like and 2 hours of work early in the morning. You're done. The rest of the weekend is
Yo,
done.
you know when a lawyer's impressed with that hourly rate? That's
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to. Randy's basically thinking, "You think I'm a thief? Let me talk to you."
Yo,
the
fuck
best
this
is
lawyer slander. Okay,
the
he
best is
holds the
when they
line.
no the best is when some of them come in and write their occupation. People write MUA. I didn't know what it was, and they're
Man,
like, I'm like, what's a MUA? And I kept
I
asking
kept
like,
yes. I said Mua too.
I'm like, what is that? And they're like, oh, this is. I'm like, oh, there's like a college for that now. Is there? I honestly thought it was a designation of some sort, and
Yeah.
no, but they write that after their name, and fair enough, man. They're making more money than all of us, so good for them.
Yeah, I
They
kept on
show
seeing
up in
more.
their
I
Bentley.
was like, this is a crazy fucking credential. I was asking my sister would laugh every time I said "mua." For the longest time, I never knew it was makeup artist. That makes so much sense. It's so stupid. Oh my god.
No, but why not just call yourself a makeup artist?
Yeah,
Why did that need an acronym? I don't get it.
or a moniker, or whatever. Yeah, what the fuck?
So
Yeah,
decor and makeup artists. But I feel like you'll never be able to convince a bride that a makeup artist is overrated.
Yeah, but you can't like, as they say, don't hate the player, hate the game. Yeah, I can't be mad at the makeup artist. Who's stupid enough to pay for that much money to get that makeup done? That's who
right.
you got to blame,
All
right?
of our wives.
But like, no. But going back to one of your previous things was who remembers their decor versus who remembers the makeup. Girls definitely remember their makeup more than they do the decor. No.
No, I don't think the girls remember. They remember, yeah, fine makeup rather than
And well,
decor,
there's
for sure.
there's pictures and it's their own experience, right? I
Yeah.
think they care about how they look more than they cared about the decor.
If they
Like,
didn't
So
like,
it
they
takes
remember it for
precedence.
sure.
If there's a hierarchy in the wedding importance,
The
or,
I feel like makeup would
think
be higher than
makeup's up
most
there.
things.
Makeup's the highest.
And the most thankless job is the DJ because someone's gonna smack you at some point in the night, or
What?
some uncle's gonna fight you for like not playing.
No, man, the
jazzy
DJs got
music.
smart. Aren't there like the DJ booths that are like upstairs so you can't even get to the DJ?
That is becoming like that, but it's not like that everywhere.
They're locked doors. They're like, no one will interrupt me while I do my set.
Pretty much.
Man, there's like MCs now. There's these
The
like
wedding
shows in
MC,
the middle.
the wedding MC was the one gig that I saw coming up now more than in the past that I don't really get. Because one, I agree, you need a good MC, but at the same time, shouldn't it be someone personal to you?
Yo,
Like hiring a
honestly,
third party to
what's with all that pre-wedding stuff? Anyways, like that's not where did we create that? Is that an Indo-Canadian thing that we've Canadian created? So we've created this, right, where you have to have the entrances, then the speeches, then appetizers are going at the same time, then there's some performance, and then they open up the dance floor. Would I say that's? Would you guys agree that's pretty much the?
Well, beyond that, man, like the Karamai Roka, all that stuff, it's gone to a
Well,
scale.
no. Let's just stick to wedding, right? Like the fact that you do all these little things. Doesn't
So
it all seem useless? Like come in, a couple comes in, hey, hi, and just start.
no, well, there was
No
a
one wants to hear this. No one wants the speeches. Let's be honest. Who wants a speech?
well, I remember there was a logistic thing about this, right? Because I was talking I remember when we were doing our reception, they're like, look, if you want to do appetizers and you want to do your dinner, they need to be this many hours apart before we can switch it up and change up the food. We just can't do unless you just only want dinner and no appetizers or anything like that, right? So then you have like this 3 hour or 2 hour time fill that you got to do. And I think that's where people are like, well, what do we do? And then that's when we got into, well, if that's what they did, that worked for them. Let's do the same thing. No?
Is it about the food or is it just the way we've planned it?
No, I think the food dictated for me. What I remember is the food said, here's what the timing is going to be for the appetizer and the meal based on what start time you've given us. How you fill in what happens in between, that's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, you can do different things, but I think everyone agrees that games are fucking stupid.
What elaborate?
Oh no,
Shoe
special
game?
dances.
Oh.
Dance is the same. No one wants to
Wait,
see.
I'm okay with seeing like the groom or the bride and their friends like do a performance, but like hiring a punga team now is getting a. I
Yeah,
mean,
does
I used
anybody
to
even
be the
care?
punga dancer. I used to be the punga dancer making money at these gigs, and I'm saying that.
Dancing for money, yeah.
The shoe game was always a bit weird to me. The watching like, because you always knew which way the answers were gonna go. Who wears the pants in the family? Girl puts her hands up. Oh, guy puts her hands up.
Yeah.
Everyone laughs. Who
Yeah.
who takes out the trash? You know, the girl's always gonna put her hand up, and sometimes
Who
she'll be
takes
like,
longer to get ready?
yeah.
It's like,
Then the guy,
yeah.
the guy, girl, like
I just-
it's on the guy.
I
They
just feel
got
like
really cliche with certain things.
I feel like we're just the one culture, or maybe Indian weddings in general. We don't know what the wedding's supposed to be. Like it transformed from what we are, and then it turned into like a Vegas party at one point. People had all these glow sticks everywhere, the sunglasses. I'm like, oh, are we in Vegas now? Like, is
I had
this the
Bodhi at my
idea now?
wedding, and I went to their wedding a month after, and their wedding was with 40 people, and I was like, dude, I love your wedding. It was great. Like yours was a fucking rave. This is a wedding. I was like,
Hold on. To be
Yeah,
fair,
like,
your
that's-
wedding was. Your wedding was fucking lit.
Like when my Scottish boys came down for my wedding, and then obviously I went back for theirs, and it was like they came to my wedding, hundreds of people, and then went to theirs, 40 people. Everyone knows they had like what was crazy. They had an event the night before the wedding, like a mixer where you got to know each other and actually talked, and got to know the other side of the family. I'm like, oh man, this is a real coming together of families.
Yeah.
Whereas ours is just like, yeah, I don't know, he's down there somewhere, but I can't see him. It's one of these things. So yeah, what is our wedding? We've created this.
I
Right?
mean, look, if two coming of the families doesn't happen at the bar, where does it happen? I feel like
I'm just saying this. I gotta agree. Yes.
all I know
Fair
is at the
enough.
wedding, that's where all the guys from all sides, they'd all kind of intermingle.
They all-
It's,
they all meet
it's a
up, yeah.
social. It's a social lubricant, right? Everybody starts talking then.
And then
Social
all,
lubricant.
when they shut the bar down for the speeches, the uncles would all like moan, like, what the hell? Do we gotta...
Well, who's
So
who's shut down the bar?
do we do weddings better, or do you think does India do weddings better?
India.
India?
I haven't been to a wedding in India, to be honest.
The best weddings though is when people from Canada go to India and do
That's what
a wedding in India Canadian style.
I haven't been to one of those.
Explain.
I've been to those. So weddings in India happen during the day.
Okay.
Yep.
Get rid of
Yep.
that. Okay, so do it at night. But
The
there's
party,
no,
the party you're
the
saying.
party at night. Yeah, the party at night in India with India food, all those stalls of and snacks
Yep.
and all that India menu. With patake, it's outdoors, so it's great.
Yeah.
And you don't have, and you have like in Canada, everybody dances at the wedding. You don't have hired dancers, right? That dance all night, and there's a stage. No. Like we dance here ourselves, we friends and family. In India, they don't do that, so just do that as well. It'll be fun. I've done that. It's
Well,
great.
Huh?
Would I
What do
be
you mean?
wrong, or would I be wrong to say?
Have you been to a reception in India?
No.
Okay, so here people dance. You would dance at your friend's wedding, right? Shandar?
Yes.
In India, they don't dance. They
They don't
sit in
dance.
chairs and they watch a performer dance and a performer sing, and then they go home.
Even the Canadian weddings that happen
They're
in
just
India.
weddings in Punjab. Just wedding in
Okay.
Punjab.
Well,
That's how
dancing's not a big thing there.
You going and dancing at your friend's wedding is not a thing. At the pre-events, yeah, but at the reception, no.
That sounds boring, low key.
Well,
Yes,
can I
it
say
is
one
boring.
thing?
Yeah,
We keep saying wedding, but we're talking about the parties.
we're talking about the reception.
We never talk. We call it the wedding. Isn't that a
Well,
problem?
there's only 20 people that go to the Anand Karj.
Yeah,
And
isn't that a
India.
problem? That's
That's
the
it.
problem. Even us in discussing about weddings, weddings are coming up.
Look,
The wedding's
man.
already done. That is the wedding. We're talking about
it's
the party.
reception season.
Look,
Yes, I know.
the wedding portion, like the Nandkaraj ceremony, I feel like that isn't much. Like a lot of couples don't really control too much of what happens there. They're just like, look, the Granthi and the Kirtani, they're gonna do it. They don't really ask for a certain Kirtani to come out. I know Gursaks, they'll be like, yo, I want this Kirtani to come out. I want this Katavachik to come out. I want this person to do my lama. It's a bit of a thing, but for most people, they don't care who does their lama. They're like, yo,
To
the
do that
Granthi.
at the Munna.
Is that a more disconnect with the religion, or
I feel
it's more, or do you think the morning part is just an obstacle for them?
they
Like
just,
that's not the party, right? It's just a formality. Like in England they have two. I don't know if you guys know, in England you have to have two, and when you're Punjabi you have two weddings or whatever it is. I guess it's a civil union. I forgot what it's called, but you got to do it according to their laws. Do you think Punjabis in Ontario treat the Anand Karaj kind of like just a formality that they got to get through because the real wedding is at night?
Well, here's the thing. Like, it depends what matters to you, right? So, to the average, I'll just say fucking Munna. They don't know what they. Let me put it this way: they don't know what they could customize in the Anand Karj to tailor it to themselves, right?
Let them know which way to walk.
But they do know, yeah, they don't exactly, right? Hungover. But they do know what they can customize about the reception. Menu, DJ, booze, MC, decor. They know they can customize that to reflect their personality. Well, okay, Nandagaj, they don't know what they can do, but to someone who is in the know and like they want to do something matters, then they'll get their favorite, kirtani to do kirtan because either they like their voice or how they do kirtan, or maybe they have done something and they look up to them and they're like, it'll mean something special to me if they are the ones who perform the ceremony or they're the ones who read the hukamnama, right? So they understand that customization will actually make sense to them. So that's still fucking disconnect.
or I don't even think it's the fact that they don't know that they can. It's that they don't have that taste of, oh, I'd rather have this person come and do it, or I'd rather have this person do this, because they don't have those symbolic connections
Yeah, they
that you
didn't have the
mentioned, right?
connection exactly. Yeah,
Um,
or that. But that's the difference, right? Like I tried to get my boy to do my lava, and the Gurdwara didn't allow it. They're like, sorry, only in-house only.
no, but that's the thing, right? Because a lot of Gurdwara, they're like, look, the Ragis that we have, their entire income is based on
I
what they
was like,
can
yo, I'll
make.
pay. I was like, yo, I'll pay them. What's their take? I'll pay them. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, but then they're like, no, like we don't know what your boy's gonna say on stage. I was like, what the fuck? Come on, cut
No,
me some slack,
I think that's where the real threat comes sometimes, is the political
Look at this.
what is
Look at this Mona trying to alter the process.
dude. And then we had a singer, a famous singer, sitting in the crowd, and he was gonna wish us well, and the girl was like, no, he makes songs that people dance to. Like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah.
but
All
yeah,
those are
going
other
back
topics, I guess.
but going back to the wedding thing, like if you were to give anyone advice right now, like one, you'd be like, look, put a down payment on a house, save on the reception. But they've already, committed to wanting to do a reception. What advice would you give them on what what skip out on? What doesn't matter at the end of the day?
It would be not to do things for other people or the perception.
Oh God.
Do
Come on,
do have
Dad.
fun. Yeah, I would have fun, man. All that, like what people are gonna think, and little knickknacks, man. Go have some fun. That's what I would say. Party, eat well. Don't worry about. No one cares about the little plate in front of, and the charger plate with the little decor. No one cares. Nobody cares.
I agree with that.
Nobody cares.
No one gives a shit. Good
No one
music.
cares about your picture at the front. No one cares.
Yeah.
No one,
Neither one
to
gives a
be
fuck.
honest, no one even really cares about you. They're just here to drink and have a good time. So take that with a pinch of salt, if you will.
Who hurt you? Who hurt you? Why are you so sad?
Maybe that's the way I feel when I go to weddings.
All right. Just moving on to this. There's one story I saw.
Hold
What?
on,
Yeah.
Robbie, put up this
Just
pen.
just a quick thing. We were talking about crypto and we're talking about Monday trying to alter things. I was just on Twitter reading something how the Guru Granth Sahib has been altered. Somebody was, I guess, duplicating, and they found that there was errors in the duplication and they're changing meanings. I had an idea and I was proposing, like, if cryptocurrency is so secure, why doesn't someone make a crypto version of the Guru Granth Sahib?
One, it's
Do you
just
think
not
that's
necessarily. So like
Why not?
so it's not that it's not necessary. It's the whole theory would be that you put because with crypto the whole thing is you can't delete, right? It's
Yeah.
a immutable
Yeah,
ledger.
yeah.
Whatever you put in is there. Like printers making errors in Gotke or in model swoops, that's existed from time, and people have gone in, they've edited them, they fixed them, and then hoping to get, a refined print, and then somewhere someone changes something, and all of a sudden they forgot a lam here, or the lam here got missed, and people will pick up on it and I don't know, like I feel like even if you put it on the Bitcoin ledger, there's nothing stopping what version that you're like. It's not even a version. There's no stopping that whatever you're printing on this immutable ledger isn't going to have an error in it, except now you can't delete it, right?
I see what you're
For
saying.
the most part, as a then as a community, we know, oh, that is the mistake. Here are references that we can show in previous versions or in other versions where it was, the law wasn't there. Or
There's enough of a record to keep that consistency going.
for the most part on nearly all.
Yeah, my whole
accepted
thing was
stuff,
that
right?
if you had this master key copy, you would never have these controversies. Like there's one reference.
There are controversies that pop up where someone will be like, no, we should have it in this like Mahalla should come after this. Like these weird things pop up every generation from time to time, and they quickly get shut down and they don't really last too long because people are like, no, that's just not here. The meaning's doing it this way, it changes this. Honestly, putting it on a crypto thing,
Not needed. Not needed.
it just I think the month takes care of itself when it comes to this.
So another stupid one idea from yours truly. Anyways,
Nice
back to
try
review.
to commoditizing this something a central core.
I know. I wasn't saying invest money in it.
But yeah, I saw this story of some baba going up to some people who had a basement for rent, and he was shaming them for how much
Oh, I
charging
saw that.
I saw that video. I saw that video.
$2,800 a month for a basement without windows.
But wasn't
To
the story was
or
tied to a
something.
suicide? Was it? It was tied to a suicide.
So there was suicide, and he's saying this is why students are
Oh, I see.
committing suicide.
Okay.
Not that a
Okay.
student committed suicide because you're charging in this, but because of this kind of lifestyle and what you guys are charging these students and people like you are
The reason.
you're
So-
you're part of the reason, and that students are taking their lives.
Shinda, your take on that? Like, was he right? Was the baba right? Because I saw
I
a lot
mean-
of support on this online. I don't know.
So I think people should be shamed when they treat people poorly. I don't
It's
see
just
anything.
charging market rent poor, treating
I
people
mean,
poorly.
If you're exploiting students, yeah, I think shaming you. I don't see a problem with that, to be honest. If you're like whatever,
How's it
It-
shaming students?
Wait, how's
no,
it
not shaming
exploiting?
students. If it's exploiting students,
How's it
Mhm.
How's
exploiting?
it explaining?
because you know
How's it
their
explaining?
situation, that they might not know what the situation is. They might not have too many choices, so you might know that hey, their classes start. They haven't found a place. If they don't find a place, they're not going to be able to go. Well, hey, $2,500, $2,800 a month for this dingy, stinky basement that when you're in, you're not going to be able to
Okay,
find
yeah.
any
So
other.
I do agree with the illegal basement. It should be a legal basement for,
Yes.
with no win. Okay, let's get that out of the way. But was that for one basement between how many people?
I think they were saying that weren't letting them have up to more than roommates or something. I don't.
Who cares? Like, if they're charging what other people in the market are charging, they're only able. Let me put it this way. Actually, they're only charging $2,800 for their basement because the market has allowed them to. Because the
no.
general rental market. So going to one house and shaming them is pretty fucking stupid. And anybody supporting that, it looks kind of fucking dumb to me. Right? The market is wait, do something about the market. Fucking lobby your local fucking government to. I'm talking about
File a
local government, like
formal complaint. Yeah.
or push to have fucking more affordable housing. Or the college that is fucking bringing these students in droves should fucking have dorms. Like how much Sheridan doesn't have the setup for all the fucking international students it has.
I agree 100% with all that.
But could they?
So-
But could the
so
students
go-
could
go and
students really
smack
take on
them.
a one bedroom? A lot of these students coming over can't even afford the tuition, and that's the broke system,
I agree.
100%.
right? We're forced to feel sympathy.
I mean, at the same time, like him going out shaming
But-
these guys, that is part of market reaction. That's him saying he's shaming you, not because you're charging market rate, but have some shame as to what you're charging. And I feel like that alone shifts the market. No,
But that's like going to every house going for sale for 1.6 million in Brampton and going
Thank
to
you.
the homeowner, shame on you, right? I mean, this is so
for paying
stupid.
this-
What's the conversation?
Yeah, like
here?
what's next? Are we going to start shaming people for fucking getting these high ass mortgages?
and the
Right?
bank.
They're-
I mean, we do.
and raising the house prices, so now they're unaffordable for anyone else to jump into
So
the
there's
housing market.
there's
It's
this whole
stupid.
we look at the end of the day, people are coming into the city. Legal, affordable housing is necessary. Legal, importantly, obviously we've heard about all the house fires. That scares me that basement had no windows. But I understand people from India are giving everything to come over here. But the reality is, when you came over here as a student, the intention is one, you had enough for your tuition and you have enough money for your living costs, wherever that might be. You can't be mad now at the community who's trying to make money off that. Because if we're in the student housing game, which Brampton is now, and Sheridan's obviously, and how can you be mad at it? If this was reversed, you don't think they would charge us? When we go there, they charge us.
Yeah.
When you go to a hotel, you're like, come on, I
Like, yo,
feel
you're
their
coming to
plight.
India?
I'm not,
Freaking iPhone.
I'm not ignorant to their
I mean-
plight. I know a lot of people, but as a student, and then you on top of it, you can't work legally, right?
You can.
So yeah,
20
I do
hours.
20 hours. So I had the same thing conditions put onto me when I went to the UK. I had to show enough funds in my bank that I could cover the cost of living in my school. And that's the only way I could come. And I was told very directly over and over again, you will not get a citizenship in our country. You will not get a visa. This does not mean citizenship. So
I don't
are-
think Canada
are
is
the-
repeating that to students when they're coming here.
you
Oh, they're saying you will. They're saying
you
you'll fucking get citizenship.
That's it, 100%. And then the students have this kind of like feeling in their hearts that, well, the system did us wrong. We bring all this money and there's not enough. But that wasn't the job of the government. The government's not responsible for that. If the school gives you admission, that's the tuition, you figure it out. Now, if you're a millionaire in India, no problem. But if you're giving everything and the agent's taking money from you and you're taking loans, I feel the plight. But that's not somebody who owns a house and he's putting their thing for rent. You know, we could do the reverse. Why do the students destroy the basements?
I mean, how many houses are getting their basements destroyed though?
A
I feel
lot.
like, are they?
Yeah,
Because
it's pretty bad. It's
Yeah.
pretty bad. I've seen
And
whole houses destroyed, man.
I do know
I
a lot
love
of
it
people
so
are now at the
good.
point. I know a lot of people now are at the point where they're just like, look, they were saying that students are having a hard time getting houses or basements for rent because people just won't rent them.
Yeah, but once again, that's not like I faced that in Glasgow when I was there. There was, if they found out you're a student, they said no. So you had to fund student accommodation. Now that did fall on the university and the city council to have places like that. Brampton is at that Brampton should be up for that, and they should go, well, if Sheridan's letting all these people, we need to work with you guys and figure something out. But the
100%.
question is, let's say they did have residents. How many of those students could generally afford it?
Like I do.
You know, if you have a one bedroom, because that's what the res would be like. Like I used to pay like, I think it was like 1,000 Canadian. That was the equivalent over there. That was over 10 years ago. How many of them are willing to pay 1,000 each?
I mean, you lived this. You had a house when you lived in Waterloo, and we had our place when we lived in Ottawa. Were we any different when it came to upkeep or caring about the properties that we lived in? Because
Yes.
the house I lived in London, we broke down some doors.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but you're not like, you know, destroying walls.
and Shinde, when we lived in Ottawa, we did a pretty good job with that apartment.
For the most part, we were, minus some washrooms here and there, but like it was also helped that we weren't like partiers and that we weren't like crazy. Our
But what were the housing prices at that point
I felt
in
like it was
wherever you guys
fair.
were living?
Like at the same time, every place I lived, everybody wanted their own room. We didn't really. I remember there were sometimes conversations about, hey, so and so wants to bunk with us. We could put him in the living room, and everyone was like, nah, man, we don't want a guy living in the living room.
Yeah, I guess weird.
I had one of
Right?
those.
Yeah.
So I feel like we still had it better than sometimes the students that come here do. I don't know what the
Yeah,
rates
but I
are,
mean,
or
Look, I once
like
again,
when you guys
no
say
one
they
doesn't.
crash houses, I'm thinking, well, a lot of the houses when I was living in Western were pretty trash. They were party houses. They
Okay,
were,
so let's
you know what I mean?
let's take it from another view. Let's take it from not the student view. What's the base rent for a basement in Brampton today? Non-student, just a family who comes into your 2 bedroom or 1 bedroom basement. What's the going rate? I don't know. I'm asking you guys.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like $3,000 or some shit like that.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say let's be conservative. 1800 to be fair.
I thought
I
1800
don't.
was
I think that's
be too
done.
short.
Yeah, it's too low.
Okay,
That's
but let's
what
just say that
it
is.
used to be.
Let's say 2 grand. So what are these
Yeah,
guys?
fine,
They were
$2,000.
charging.
Let's say $2,000.
These guys were charging 2,500.
2,800.
And how many guys?
Yeah, exactly.
What happens if they change the rate based on who it is?
Yeah, I would charge more for Desi dudes.
Just a 10% contingency plan, like just in case you damage.
So back to the
They
question
will,
though.
yeah.
Where were you? So you, Robbie, you were against the shaming of the landlord?
No, no, it's not. I'm against that. Like the shaming of not taking it the right way. I mean, if it's the illegal basement, that's not right. You should shame that. 100% agreed. But if it was a legal basement and that was the rate, I mean,
They enter into a
what do
fucking
you-
agreement or contract.
that's like me being mad. That's
Yeah.
like me mad at a landlord, and I have a retail unit, and I'm pissed off that it's expensive and it's costing, and I can't handle my business, and my business goes under because the rent was too high. Well, if that's the going rate, I can be pissed off at the landlord, but I mean, it is what it is.
Fair
You know, think of it that way. But I don't agree. It was like, remember that girl who got the student network went after that. Was it Chut Hut or whatever it was, and she had
Yeah.
not been paid a certain amount of money. Did anyone think she was working illegally? Did anyone even bring that up? She wasn't supposed to be working those hours. The reason you were being paid cash and you weren't paid and you were working illegally. Now, if you had done everything by the book, you would have got a proper paycheck. No one would have withheld it. But you
Yeah,
worked extra hours.
and you
You
wouldn't
got
have been able to
cash.
afford life and that you were promised
But
by
that's
your
not. But then
agents.
no. You weren't
then
promised. You were not promised.
no, you
You were
weren't promised.
told. You
You
weren't
can only
promised
work 20
nothing.
hours, and you should have savings to make sure that you can go to school and live off only 20 hours of work.
I don't know.
Like
That job
I
situation
used to.
seems really grimy because they really try to exploit the fact that she was a student,
Oh, they're no.
and they
They're
were
completely
threatening.
wrong. But that's the system, right? I agree. They're wrong. They're exploiting. But at the same time, if you're benefiting from that system, let's say there was
No,
none of
no.
the cash system. Let's say there was no cash
But
system.
look,
These
they're
students could
not
only work 3 days.
to say they're benefiting while making piss poor money is kind of it's a weird thing to say, right? They're making bare minimum trying to
No, okay.
work this system. That's
And
exploiting
I will
them.
and I was here's where they're benefiting. They did not come here for an education.
Yeah.
They came
You
here to
want
be able
that?
to drive a truck as soon as possible.
You want to know the benefit? That's the benefit of citizenship. Yeah, they are benefiting. If there's a person who's like, no, this is my career. Yeah, I feel sorry for them. Because they came thinking that Canadian education was going to get them a legitimate job in this country, brighter future. But if they're literally just going to like some of these colleges, man, they're not going
No.
there to study.
Private college that's
Yeah.
like just they pay an outrageous fee to get into a college which will get them a visa. They don't go to class. They just fucking work and make money. That's it. That's their whole
There
game
is
plan.
that side of it too, and we can't ignore that. You do feel sorry for the good ones. But
Yeah, the ones that are on the buses, going class to class
Yeah.
and walking to Tim Hortons after class to do their job. Like that's not everybody. We said this way before, back in 2016. It's like 10% make the rest look really bad, but
But if we're
you got to understand, like not everybody comes. A good chunk of them don't come here actually for school. They lie about their finances, what they can afford, and they come here. They can't fucking afford anything. They get exploited because they brought them. They came here vulnerable. They made themselves vulnerable by not being able to afford it.
and it's not their fault. They were promised something from a narrative that's been told to them. You come to this country, you're a student, you eventually get a PR, blah, blah, blah. And also there's agents on the other side doing the same thing. So it's not their fault. I'm just saying it's the system.
But I feel like the agents don't get enough flack for this.
Of course they
Well,
do.
they're
Man.
agents, man.
Everybody
It's called
shits
an
on
agent.
agents, but like everybody hates an agent until they need one.
Like lawyers.
Like lawyers,
you.
right? No, but like the agents
I was like,
are
yeah, man, I
like
set
straight
myself
up. They're straight up setting people up with these fairy tales, knowing that they're not going to be held accountable or that they can easily like just ignore the phone calls after, where they're
It's not
making promises to people to.
It's not even the agents, man. It's us. It's like when our up and go back and they float all that money. But
You flaunt all the money.
it really is like it's a week worth of OT, and they know they're gonna blow it like crazy. But that's it, and then back to fucking living check to check.
All right.
But there's a plight there, but this is not a regular stream to get citizenship.
Like
Being a student, like all my international. So in my second year in Glasgow, I lived with it was a student housing thing in the university. There was six independent units, and they joined a kitchen. None of those guys got citizenship. None of them. They were doing master's degrees in engineering, masters in something. None of them got a citizenship. The UK said no.
But yo, shout out to Trudeau. There's a drug problem in Punjab, and now Punjab is like one of the highest like illiteracy rates. There's a high literacy rate now in Punjab. The school's gotten much better. People actually go to school because that's their ticket out.
Is that really a thing?
So-
The education in Punjab has got better. Like this
So
kids.
we're
legit go
helping
do-
with the
it's
expensive
helping.
basements. There you go. It's motivation, Chinda. There you go.
All right. So you guys were both against.
Are you? Hold on.
the
What were you?
shaming.
What are you? You say your perspective.
Mine?
Yeah.
I thought I already gave.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah.
So you were for it?
I'm all for it. Like, if someone's doing something shady, man, go ahead, shame them. I don't really hold back on that. If, you could say he's charging market rate. Well, if your market rate sucks, man, go ahead, blast him for having a shitty market rate. And then the market people will be like, okay, maybe we need to reconsider. I don't know. I think it's all fair game. I don't think.
Oh, you hear that? All you consultants out there and lawyers and optometrists, market rates, they're shit. It's according to Shinda. You should be
Look,
charging
man.
less. You should be charged. Shame on you. Shame on you, people working on.
If your
for
market
hours.
rate is a point where warrants someone to dress up in a suit with a camera to come at you and say, hey, that's a shitty ass rate. Hey, man, the media's been going after bank for bank rates from time. And the banks are like, yeah, okay, whatever. We literally, that's how we dictate markets. And the media goes after market rates that are like piss poor or that are exploitive, right? In all industries. And some uncle doing
I
it
think
to
I think we
guys in the
should. I
basement,
think you
more
should. I
power to
think
'em.
we should go after Sheridan.
I think
Yeah.
Sheridan and these schools should
I
be
think you
more
should go after
accountable.
Sheridan.
I
Yep.
do think they should be held accountable. I think all colleges that have a college degree that are bringing in international students need to be putting money back into the city or showing how they can.
Is there a cap on acceptances at Sheridan for international students?
I'm sure there
And
is.
the visas that those are given out, that's obviously governed by someone. So that like there's something missing, and the city of Brampton should intervene and say, hey man, you guys give out this many acceptances. Can you show the proof where we have enough for living? That's it. Simple as that.
It always sounds simple until you get the bureaucracy involved, man.
Get the Dougler on it, guys. Come on, tell the Dougler. Get the
Hey,
Doug
man.
Doug sign out.
All
Dougler
right,
sign out. Big hot dog in
quickly,
the sky.
quickly moving on. Ron Bannerjee, you guys hear what happened to him?
Yeah, bundle of the week.
Bonder of the
He
week.
went there and he what? He was like talking shit about six.
That's
and
what he
then
does. That's his
knocked
MO,
her
isn't
out.
it? Just talk shit.
So
And-
a little bit more color for Ron Bannerjee. He's a renowned, loud voice in person. He's one of those guys that stands on a pulpit, stands on a milk carton, and screams crazy shit. He's been doing this from time. He does it against Muslims. He does it against Sikhs. He does it against Jews. He does it against any non-white community, non-Hindu community. We as Sikhs have labeled him a Hindu nationalist because he's pro-RSS, pro-anti-Sikh type sentiment. And he's been at every Nagar Kirtan. This wasn't his first rodeo either with Nagar Kirtans. But usually he's been kind of across the street, just doing his thing, saying, hey, you guys, F Sikhs, this, that. This time he came right beside the stage. And he started
I didn't
saying
know that.
And he started, doing his normal bullshit. And sings, and like people kind of ignored him for the most part. And then he said, you guys need to die. You guys need to be killed. And that's when he got, roughed up a little bit. a little shoving, a little altercation, a little self-defense happened. Some people felt threatened for their lives, felt, that they need to react in a self-defensive way to take care of Ron and distance himself. And then the police said, let's get Ron out of here for his own safety. And, by the way, here's a few charges on Ron. So, honestly, man,
What does he do? What's his background?
he's
I tried to search it. I couldn't find it.
Honestly, anything
You were
related
hoping he was
to...
a lawyer, don't you? You were hoping he was a lawyer.
Honestly, I think he's just a paid actor at this point. People pay him to start shit with minority communities.
But he must have a job, no?
I mean, I couldn't find his LinkedIn. I don't know what his LinkedIn profile says.
There was a Ron Bannerjee in Simcoe County working for the school board. I thought it was him, but I was wrong.
This dude is a
I was like,
complete...
let's get this guy fired.
This guy's... The amount of trouble this guy's been in. Not too long ago, he was involved in something against Muslims that he eventually got sued for, and he had to issue a public apology.
Paramount Fine Foods, the gentleman who owns Paramount.
Yes, big wallets there, right? Totally made him pay up. Honestly, I don't know what's gonna come up with these charges that he's been charged with. They seem kind of like misdemeanors. I don't know how serious they are, or if they'll have him locked up for good. But
I think the question is does he think twice,
with
or is
six,
he
yes.
or is he more aggravated now to I'm gonna do it
I'll say
again
this
and let's see.
much: in the past, he's been afraid. He's been intimidated by Six. I've known this because I've known people who he's interacted with, and he's always kind of been okay. I'm gonna shut my mouth when I see this guy walk by or something, right? And because he's well known, he's always at Raptors games. Any big social event, he's outside yelling his stuff, right? He's always
mind
been
you, can I just interject where he was right before that
where.
at PP's rally,
Yeah, I heard back right on stage, right? He was
and they wanted him to stand beside PP at one point.
I heard about this. I haven't been able to find the picture, but goes to say what type of
Your
crowd.
boy PP, your boy.
Hey, PP is open to all, I guess. But yeah, no, man. Fuck Ron Bannerjee. That's all I got to say on that.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yo, that's one guy who deserved a Will Smith type of situation.
Hey, man, everyone.
He
Yeah,
deserved it.
he needs to keep sick names out of his mouth.
Shinda, you still salty about Will Smith, or are you over it now?
I mean, I
Your
feel
boy
like
Big Willie? Big Willie?
he's in India right now getting his chakras aligned. Him and Dwight Howard.
Tony Howard, yeah.
Partying at a past wedding, I saw that.
I saw a picture. I don't know if this was photoshopped or not of Will Smith at like Taj Mahal, like in a meditative lotus pose or something. And I'm like,
Why does this man think India's gonna help him? It's the land of slapping.
yes. Someone actually said that. They're like, India perfected the slap as like the insult.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and I think they even made the claim. They're like, had this been in Bollywood, no one would have been surprised. This was a very Bollywood move, a slap. They're like, Hollywood's more about the punch. The slap belongs to Bollywood.
Imagine he punched him.
A punch would
And
have.
had to,
That's all
and had to
blown
get
over
arrested.
now, right? That's done now.
No, I feel like Chris Rock. Everyone's waiting for his official response.
Chris Rock's gonna get paid.
He's getting his, yeah.
He's gonna
But
get paid.
yeah, from one bother to the other. Nah, man. Honestly, Ron Bannerjee. Honestly, nothing good to say about that dude. And honestly, one thing I noticed is when that tweet about him getting arrested went out, a lot of the retweets on Boz's tweet about that with the picture and stuff was from other communities. It wasn't even six. It was like other community Muslims,
They just all hate him.
Bengalis, all these other minority, like they were just like retweeting this tweet about Ron Bannerjee. Like the hate that this guy has across the spectrum was beautiful.
I'm surprised no one's hit him. It's just a
Like,
surprise.
until now.
Yeah, until now. Like no one's just gone up and just kidnapped this guy and like gave him one or two and
You know when you know someone's like just has special needs and there might be something mentally off about them, you just try to ignore them. I think that's what Ron's gotten, just because he's been on that. I'm gonna stand on milk crates, say crazy shit, and everyone's like, yeah, okay. But Ron's been kind of roughed up by things in the past, because I remember at a Raptors thing a few years ago, he was out there screaming stuff, and then he got confronted. I saw videos of him being confronted on Instagram and stuff, and he quickly shut up and skedaddled.
skedaddled.
So,
I like that word.
Ron's not opposed to running away from conflict, but the only people I've seen really willing to really push conflict towards him have been up and in, as Ranji was describing earlier, Jut Law.
Yeah. Well, anyways, F this guy. We've been talking about him for too long. He is the bundler of the week. So
He's gonna make a great poster for the episode poster.
yeah, sick.
We'll have
Get the
him
get the one with the PP next to him though. That's the one you need.
I haven't been able to find that. You find that, I'll post that one. But hey, man, appreciate you guys taking the time as always. Any closing thoughts?
Boys, what you guys going on this weekend? I got the Gunwar Gurwell concert I'm going to go to tomorrow. Looking forward to that.
You were supposed to take me, but you never invited me.
Okay, you want to go? Let's go.
Well,
Is
it's too late now.
Gunwar Gurwell the guy during the farmer protest who was like super senti?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Senti, I guess. Yeah.
Like he was taking dirt to the stage and he's like, "Hey, sir, paint the one or whatever. Apne kheta to this that."
I guess that's Senti. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, "This is what we're fighting for. Never forget."
Yeah. He was a big part of the Morcha. So that's the guy.
Good artist.
I mean, Nagar Kirtan's, he'll probably be at the Nagar Kirtan then on Sunday.
Yo, can't wait.
He seems like a Nagar Kirtan type of guy.
I'm down with that.
So yeah, Nagar Kirtan Sunday. We can, I don't know, man, just getting the kids healthy. Probably avoid indoor play parks for a little bit, but
That's cool.
till then.
All right.
All right.